Welcome back to Us Against Everything, the podcast where we question literally everything, including things that we love. Today we are here, me, Liz, the psychic medium host, and my co-host, husband, and favorite person in the world, Landon.
What's up, everybody?
Honestly, though, I am super excited about covering this topic because it is one of my favorites.
Even Magic Kingdom and suspicious, cheerful mascots.
Especially Magic Kingdoms, especially now. Because after everything that's been happening lately with the cruise ship stories, like what? The underground rumors, people online spreading and spiraling about Disney in a whole different way. I'm looking at Landon and saying, like, it's interesting that we were already going to be covering this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking us to cover these underground tunnels. And honestly, I'm also very interested in that too.
Right. And then the cruise ship situation with the sexual assault and the imagery and all the craziness going on. We're going to cover that too. But if you have not checked it out, we talk about it on TikTok as well.
But also, why wouldn't it be suspicious?
It makes sense.
When these things are exclusively for children.
Like a gingerbread house.
Exactly. Nobody ever clearly heard of Hansel and Gretel.
No, and what the witch was doing. You know what I mean? Anyway.
But it's always they're blaming a witch.
Always a witch. It's always a woman. We love to hide behind women, evil villains, so that the men look good.
Right. Very rare is it an evil man.
But then the statistics show otherwise.
Right.
Like, and I'm not saying women aren't crazy, because there are a lot of cray-cray women out there, but there are a lot more cray-cray men out there.
By far.
Now, Magic Kingdom is one of my favorite places on earth. I honestly love Disney. Like, I love the feel of it. I've been sucked in. I feel like I've been hypnotized. But when you go to Disney as a kid, it's great. But when you go to Disney as an adult, it's even better.
Way better, because you get to actually spend your own money.
But no, really, I am obsessed with Disney, and Landon can vouch for that.
Absolutely.
But it is something that, it's just magical. It doesn't mean it's like it isn't filled with secrets, because there are a lot. And that's what I like about it, the mysterious things that we don't necessarily get to see, which is why today we're going to look into Disney and some rides and some employee stories, hidden tunnels, creepy coincidences, and of course, as always, conspiracy theories. The weirder it gets, the better.
And we all know what Liz means when she says it gets weird.
Whatever the case may be, you want to look out for this stuff the next time you go, just saying.
Now we're going to have people walking around there staring at all these doors and wondering if there's like a hidden door or like a trap door.
Good, because some of these are real. Like, the underground utility tunnels. Some are creepy employee stories and some are like internet rabbit holes. But basically, there are some conspiracies out there that get so big, people genuinely think Disney is hiding things underneath the park, and I don't disagree.
I could see why they would believe or there would be tunnels underground, because the explanation that is given is basically that Walt Disney did not want anyone to lose the magic.
Right.
And didn't want characters out of costume. And sometimes you have to go from one end of the park to the other for a meet and greet, and you want to take your head off to breathe for a second. You can't do that walking through the park. That takes away the magic. So having an underground like tunnel to get from X to wherever where you could take that off, that makes sense.
I don't disagree that Walt's vision was genuinely innocent in all this, but I believe that they now have taken it and turned it into something else.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Walt has been dead. Like, he controlled everything. Now that he's not there and there's all these other shareholders and stakeholders, and the heir to Disney is still very young. They're like 21 right now. So they can't make many decisions either, and couldn't for majority of their life.
Exactly.
People ruin things for other people, and we know that, right? Like it was innocent when Walt did it, and now all these other gross people who get in these positions and jobs, they do gross things.
Absolutely. And for those of you who do not know, but Magic Kingdom is basically like sitting on top of an entire hidden underground system. And this system is used, like Landon said, for moving characters, hiding props, things, boxes, you name it, easy access to certain areas as Disney characters, but it also is used for other things as well. The elite, who have basically formed a large scale relationship with Disney so that they can also go under there in case they're trying to escape from people, have hidden things. And I even believe that there has been some dead bodies that have been gone under there too. Just saying.
Would not be surprised.
Dark and creepy down there. Obviously, there's no windows. It's not like it's going to be lit up. I mean, might be lights down there, but you know what I mean? It's
like walking through a cave.
A little claustrophobic-ish. And I'm sure there are areas that people are not allowed to go either.
Right. I'm sure there's hidden areas. And again, it's underground. It's like a cave. Like they couldn't make it that big.
No, it definitely, I think it is to a degree, but I don't know. I envision it like a whole ass like land under there, like big, thick walls, like large, all from one end to the next. Like,
oh, I'm sure.
Because
Walt never did nothing small.
Seriously concerned about this utility containment, because there's secret restricted areas, VIP entrances, hidden celebrity lounges, surveillance centers, emergency bunkers, medical response rooms, and there's section employees aren't even allowed to discuss publicly. And that's what I want to talk about too. You know what I mean? All of the no-nos.
Exactly.
There's
a lot.
There's also a huge theory that Disney has other areas connected to the park, specifically a Disney jail.
I've heard of that people have gotten put in Disney jail before.
Yeah, it's like a full ass thing. The rumor is that it's existed forever.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to do something bad at Disney, like the recent event that happened.
Right. Can you imagine?
Well, I don't think you heard of this one. I'm not even talking about the Disney cruise.
Oh my God. What is this one?
This guy recently, just like a couple of days ago, was on the Kilimanjaro safari ride and he had to go to the bathroom so bad. He jumped off the ride.
Oh my God.
And ran into the safari into a bush and relieved himself in the bush and then got back on. So I'm sure when he got back, he was put in Disney jail.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if it's like genuinely under the Princess Castle?
The Mickey Penitentiary.
Stop. The reason that these theories have spread so hard is because Disney is very secretive and very intense. Like people don't realize how monitored Disney actually is.
Like if a child got stolen or somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to be doing, they could have camera footage. So I'm sure there's cameras hidden and all kinds of props and we just don't know it.
I don't disagree with you. I even believe some characters have cameras on them as well. Employees are trained to notice suspicious behavior instantly as well.
Duh. Celebrities go there. Stuff that is geared towards children, there is a reason for it.
Even the sword, there's a sword like from The Sword in the Stone that you can pull out.
Yes.
And there is somebody there watching these children, these adults going up and, pulling this sword. And they usually let like a kid do it, right?
Watched a TikTok the other day and this dude was like, I could get this sword out and he could not.
I love that. Disney also pumps smells into areas intentionally, like Main Street smells like baked goods. Pirates have the water smell people obsess over, and that is so true. I didn't even realize that was a smell that was pumped in there. Proves my theory as well that like they're trying to hypnotize us in a sense. Like
yes, to spend money and stay there all day.
Disney is psychologically programming guests, and I ain't mad. Now let's talk about some of these conspiracies. Apparently an abandoned tunnel theory. I honestly agree with that as well. Like, I feel like there's areas that could potentially be dangerous for guests to go to or even employees. But I also believe that there are people or I don't know, old props, something. There's like this area that no one is allowed to go into, and they just keep on throwing shit in there.
It's probably like their animatronics that don't work anymore.
Or do they?
Or, well, yeah, they're probably haunted, or, something's wrong with them. They're glitching out, but it's like probably some other items that either somebody did something to, or let's say somebody died on the Haunted Mansion ride on a specific cart. They probably took that cart off and put it in there because they were like, we don't want our guests to be in a cart that somebody died in.
Right. Now, here's a totally different one. This is like a big conspiracy connected to the Illuminati, but the Jesus juice. They believe that the Jesus juice is also being kept there. And if you think about it, think about the movie Monsters Inc. They have to scare children in order to obtain their, energy so that they can survive. They can light up their own town, right? It's kind of like the Jesus juice stuff. Like,
yeah, but like it is like Monsters Inc. Because if you think about it, it's not even scaring children. Remember, at the end of Monster Inc., they find out that they get even more juice
from
laughter and
right.
happiness. So where is the happiest place on earth, and all kids are smiling and happy and laughing?
Yeah. Something tells me that they're getting something from kids and harvesting it down there. I don't know why. I've always felt that type of energy, but it's not necessarily something hurting kids, but it's definitely something that makes people look very, very young much later in life.
When you said that, the only thing that came to my mind was what we were talking about earlier, and they're like putting kids on crosses and like draining them underneath Disney World.
Oh my God. No, I don't think they're going as far as doing that, but there's something that they're obtaining from children that they're throwing down there.
Definitely their laughter, I'm guessing.
There's also suggestions that there are even like abandoned ride concepts buried beneath the parts of Magic Kingdom as well. There's also like a lot of theories as well of it being like a simulation, and like people always often ask about simulations and if we're living one. I mean, it's very possible, but going to Disney, this is a very simulated place. Like, the next time you go to Disney, I want you to pay attention to weird little details. Watch how quickly cast members appear and disappear. Watch the side doors near rides. Watch how fast cleanup crews respond. Watch how characters somehow move across the park impossibly fast. You'll suddenly realize that there's an entire hidden world operating around you constantly that guests barely even know.
Every 10 steps, someone wants to throw out trash. So there is a trash can now every 10 steps through the park so that you're not throwing garbage on the ground.
That makes a lot of sense, and it's very calculated. So, alrighty, now let's go for some questions people have for me specifically. What actually happens underneath the underground tunnels? Well, I'll tell you. I hate to say this, but I've heard a lot of rumors, and I do agree with it. Disney is very strict with their employees. They're not the nicest to them, especially if they fuck up, they're out of character. Whatever the case may be, they come down pretty hard on you.
You're better than that.
So I feel like there's like a lot of disciplinary actions that happen down there as well. I also believe because on Main Street, there's like this one area where the elite go to and they hang out and they do like weird rituals and shit.
Is that 31 Club?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I believe that they also get in through these tunnels. That's kind of my vibe.
Absolutely. One minute you see Brad Pitt over here, and then the next minute he's somewhere else. You're like, how the hell did you get over there that fast?
And I'll never forget it. But my dream of Tom Cruise when Suri was a baby and he was trying to save her, he couldn't find her in Disney. We were traveling through these tunnels to try to find her in his very Mission Impossible energy.
Your dreams were telling you back then.
Do I believe that there is a Disney jail theory? Yeah, I think so. Not only is it there, but you also have to like sign a waiver that you don't discuss it. Like, do I believe that they've got somebody in a room splashing water in their face? Tell us the truth. Like, no,
this is not an interrogation.
And Disney is really good at being able to get ahead of something before it gets released. Like, I believe that there has been some significant scary things that have happened at the castle or whatever the case may be that they haven't necessarily announced and made people like kind of sign off on it. But there's also a button. I keep seeing this huge gold button. It is covered in plastic, like you cannot press this button accidentally, but it's basically to contact the military if anything bad happens.
Jesus.
Right. Why do Disney parks feel emotionally different from regular theme parks? Because Disney just takes it to the extra level. Everyone feels included. If you're somebody who cannot get around easily, you're in a wheelchair, they have rides and amenities for people that are disabled and children with sensory issues, and there's something for everyone.
Takes no stops. They pull out every carpet that they can. They make it extremely inclusive for everybody. Like you said, there's lots of ramps around for them, and they're not at a high incline. So if someone was there by themselves and had a wheelchair where they had to move themselves and didn't have a motorized one, including those smells that he's pumping through the park, that gives you an emotional dopamine drop where
Absolutely.
you're smelling something, like if you like popcorn or you like water or you like,
And maybe that smell is an exchange for the children's energy as well.
could be, definitely could be. Holy hell, this is the happiest. It is so hard to be mad at Disney.
Now, do we believe that the underground tunnels also have paranormal activity going on down there? And hell yeah.
Obviously. And maybe not even just dead. If they are like injured in some way, they do not want a gurney going through the park.
Absolutely.
You're going underground.
Disney has to have a very clean, squeaky clean reputation. It's hard to do. It's hard to be a squeaky clean reputation all around.
It also costs a lot of money to have a squeaky clean reputation.
All right, now let's get into one of my favorite rides, which is also the most haunted ride of all in Disney World, Haunted Mansion. I believe that there are so many spirits connected to this ride, not because of just the theme and not because of the stories, because this attraction invites spiritual energy. Everything about it opens the door from the atmosphere, the music, the darkness, the mirrors, the graveyards, the ghosts, the constant focus on death and the afterlife.
All the seance stuff that they have going on there.
It's like Disney's accidentally built one giant paranormal magnet.
Of course, and then when Disney first opened, people were bringing their dead loved ones.
Still do that. Magic Kingdom feels bright and magical and nostalgic, but Haunted Mansion feels different. Like, still magical, still beautiful, but also older, colder somehow. Like stepping into another layer of Disney entirely. People are obsessed with this ride because it feels alive. Not necessarily physically alive, but people remember it.
So imagine all the spirits floating around there from people dropping ashes in there.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, there's a high-end paranormal activity. Those people are there.
High thousands of people scattering cremated ashes inside of Haunted Mansion. And Disney has never openly loved talking about it, but the cast members and former employees have discussed it for years. Most common locations for people throwing these ashes, by the way, the ballroom scene.
The graveyard, definitely believe that one.
And then near Madame Leota.
Because they want to see if, she gonna be like, I see a spirit here.
People genuinely want this ride to be their final resting place. And you know what? I would not be angry with this, not gonna lie.
Me either, for sure. Put me right on the seat.
I definitely would take you with me to Disney. I would just bring your little tiny urn and carry you on with me.
Exactly.
I wouldn't throw you away, but I would let you ride with me.
At least open it up a little bit and spread me a little bit on the seat.
I can get in trouble for that.
They wouldn't know. Not while you're going through it. You just in between your legs, open it up a little bit and drop a little up.
Well, there's also been a lot of weird moments. That does not surprise me. You're inviting energy into the place. The ride stopping suddenly. That happens everywhere with all rides.
Honestly, it's a little bit more creepier because you're on the Haunted Mansion, right? You're like, oh no, it stopped.
Right. There's a lot of cold spots. A voice sounding too real. The animatronic moving strangely. The shadow in the mirror. There are so many stories from guests and employees. People have claimed that they have felt something touch them when nobody was there. I have also felt that. I see you. And some people are seeing figures standing in empty vehicle rides or noticing something sitting beside them in photos that weren't there before. We got to try that. We got to take some pictures and see if we see that. I've never done it, but I'd hella want to.
We're definitely going to do that.
The mirror room freaks people out the most. I don't disagree. The mirror room is pretty freaky. Disney intentionally designed those mirrors to make it look like ghosts are joining them in their dune buggy, obviously. People swear they've seen extra figures with different faces. I don't disagree.
Of course, you're going to see extra figures. Of course, you're going to see some stuff that isn't normally there. Like, yes, Disney made that mirror room and they put those ghosts there.
Like, imagine checking your ride photos and then there's just some Victorian ghost ladies sitting beside you. When we go, we are absolutely going to be posting all of our photos, just an FYI. Another one people always talk about is the temperature change. That is very common when it comes to entities. Entities change temperatures, which means that there aren't always good energies in there either. So be careful of these entities. Not that they're going to attach to you, because people are going to be freaking if I say this, but entity energies also living in there. It feeds off of people's fear.
Also could just be a grumpy old person that somebody was like, my Grandpa Joe was so grumpy.
Employees and guests often feel like there's like backstage sections that feel freezing cold for no obvious reason, and which is weird because it's in Florida.
Like, because think of going into a haunted house that ain't warm and inviting.
Absolutely. Even Madame Leota. I want to be the new Madame Leota. I want to go on a ride. But she is obviously literally based around contacting spirits, which is so cool as well. And yes, I believe that her energy, that spirit, is absolutely there and also inviting a ton of ghosts for everyone all the time. So if you feel energy, spooky energy, have some odd dreams when you come home from especially the Magic Kingdom, especially the Haunted Mansion, let me know. I also believe that there were spirits there before the ride even got there as well. So I'd say that this place is popping.
I would definitely love to go on this ride by myself with no one, like in the middle of the night.
Employees have claimed that they've heard voices after shutdown, saw movements in an empty room, heard footsteps, saw animatronics moving.
I would love to do a paranormal investigation there in the night.
I hope we can do it. That would be amazing.
I want to hear these footsteps and these voices and stuff. So now let's get into some questions about the Haunted Mansion here. Could emotional energy actually build up inside places over time? I'm going to say abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, it absolutely can. This particular area is like bringing 3 a.m. spirit energy to life 24/7. And then, of course, think of how it would be at 3 a.m. Pretty intense.
Why do people keep trying to leave ashes inside the ride? Well, because again, they look at it like, oh, this is a haunted mansion. There's a graveyard. It's all of these things. So this would be a good resting place.
Adult Disney. If they are adult Disney fans, it would not surprise me that they do this because it genuinely feels special. Why do some employees avoid the overnight shifts?
They're scaredy cats.
I would be avoiding it too, not gonna lie. Landon would be right up in that.
Definitely not me. I would love that. That would be fun as hell.
And what is the room or scene inside of the Haunted Mansion that gives you the weirdest feeling? Honestly, the stretch room where we're initially going in before we even get into the ride, that room holds a hell of a lot of energy. And it is like a small circular room. So it's holding all these spirits. And it was pretty intense the last time I went. And that was 12, 13 years ago. Speaking of rides, let's move right along into one of the creepiest rides, technically one of the happiest rides there. I find it creepy, but we're talking about It's a Small World.
Only been on that ride one time. I took a nap halfway through it.
This ride terrifies more adults than children.
Because when you're a kid, it's like magic. It's a lot to look at for a kid.
Right, and then we get introduced to a world of Chucky and Annabelle, and then you start seeing all these dolls.
Right, and then you're like, oh my God, one of them has a knife, they're going to stab me.
Exactly, because we're seeing these bright colors, dancing dolls, music, lights, fantasy, then hearing that song playing over and over.
It's a small world after all.
It's wild. It's a chant. If you guys are looking for the ride that pulls you in and hypnotizes you, this is it.
It's a nice ride when you're like not wanting to be in the hot.
Yeah.
If you want to be creeped out, go on It's a Small World.
And I honestly believe that although people joke about it, I think it does reprogram your brain. I don't know. Let's just say you're somebody who hates being at Disney. You're like, fuck Disney, I'm here for my family, whatever the case may be. I think that ride is intentionally there to hypnotize you. Sorry.
It is, because it's telling you that you are basically, we are in a small world. Everybody is the same.
It feels like dreamlike. Like the lights are soft and glowing, water moves slowly, air feels cooler, everything sparkles. The dolls move in perfect synchronization. And honestly, the longer you stare at them, the weirder they become.
Until you realize that they are not moving. There's like one that's not moving with everybody else, and it's moving in the opposite direction.
They give me the heebie-jeebie creepies, and I'm a doll collector. I feel like they're giving us dirty looks. Like scares me. Anyway, when I was a kid, so you guys may not get this, but when I was younger, I used to be scared of dolls.
Until you met me.
Right. And now I like them more. I've always liked Chucky. But anyway, here's some creepy shit about it. A lot of people have reported that this ride never gets turned off. So those dolls are constantly going. But then there's also been reports and rumors saying that if they do turn everything off, maybe for maintenance or whatever the case may be, these dolls are still moving.
What if they don't want to turn them off because they're afraid that if they turn them off, they won't come back on or won't be synchronized anymore?
The hypnotization will also be broken.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that makes sense.
Imagine you're hearing like tiny footsteps after it's closing running around.
No. That would freak the shit out of me. Goodbye. I would be gone in a heartbeat. I'll go back to the Haunted Mansion, because at least with the Haunted Mansion, the ghosts, and maybe even the entities, but the ghosts aren't going to hurt me. But those dolls are, they could chase me.
100 little Chuckies or thousands of little Chuckies.
No. Oh my God, no. Guests have claimed that certain dolls have winked at them, and I don't disagree. Heads turned further than they were supposed to. One doll kept staring directly at them the entire ride. Like, what? How is that even possible? The ride moves. It's on a boat. You're telling me this doll was following them? Some people have sworn that dolls have reappeared or appeared in different positions during a repeat ride the same day. Yikes. There was also a former employee online that claimed that they heard the music start unexpectedly after shutdown. Dolls moving before power systems fully activated, or walking into rooms where one section was still moving while the other was frozen.
This is probably exactly why park employees do not want to work overnight, because they do not want to have to go clean or look at that ride.
Hell no. Some people say Small World After Dark feels completely different. We got to try it.
That's my jam.
I think Disney accidentally created one of the most psychologically unsettling attractions ever made.
A little horror movie.
Yes. Every doll.
Imagine the next horror movie is just the Small World ride, and all the dolls come alive and just start slashing all the people coming
They
through.
should literally do that, because that has been a nightmare of mine for years. And I'm going to tell you something. A vision I have gotten in relation to this particular ride, I believe that it's going to get shut down for like a year and a half. And people are going to fucking shit, because this ride is their jam. Like, it was my ex-girlfriend's mom's favorite ride. Like, if she didn't go on it 5 times when we were there, she was just unhappy. So I think they're going to take it down and they're going to rebuild it. And these dolls are going to be even creepier and move even crazier, and it's going to be wild. That's my visions on it.
I mean, it could definitely happen. I mean, they've been doing lots of updates, or maybe they'll get rid of the ride altogether and make it something else.
Are certain dolls more emotionally charged than others? Yes. I feel like there are specific dolls that are specifically set up to hypnotize you a little bit more than the others.
And how do you know that any of these dolls were not like haunted before they put them in this ride?
Now, why does It's a Small World feel comforting to some and horrifying to others? The ones that feel comfort from it are hypnotized. The ones that are horrified from it know that shit is going on.
Their brain is sending out warning signals to them.
And if the dolls ever did start moving after closing, would Disney even tell us? No.
Imagine Disney coming out there saying, yeah, we closed the ride because the dolls are moving on their own. Nobody would ever go to Disney, or if they did, they would never go on that ride again. It would just like be a ride that would end up, they would have to destroy because they'd have to make something else. Why do employees and people describe shutdowns terrifying? Well, because if you're stuck on that boat in the middle of the ride and like the ride shuts down and if the lights go out and all that, you know there is thousands of dolls staring at you. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That boat stops moving, everything happens. That would be a very creepy setting. And our last ride that we'll be talking about today, there are so many rides, we could not fit it all into one episode, so we'll be back for a part 2. But Space Mountain and the darkest theory in Magic Kingdom. So with Space Mountain, I've only been on it once, and I was very, very young. I have not been on it ever since because it's not size friendly. We do want to talk about this because people believe that this hides most of the secrets in Magic Kingdom. So how can we not? So this ride apparently feels different the second you walk into it.
I mean, because you feel like you're now like an astronaut going off to space and you're not like in Disney World.
Well, according to sources, it feels isolated, cold, dark, claustrophobic. I would definitely agree on the claustrophobic side. It's like you're leaving Magic Kingdom entirely and entering something unknown. I think the darkness is what fuels so many conspiracy theories about this ride because your brain can't fully process what's happening here. Now, you can't see the track properly. You can't see how close things actually are. You lose your sense of direction completely. And once humans can't fully understand an environment, we start imagining things.
Yeah, that's very true. But like you have to think of it. The ride is designed to make you feel like you are taking off on a spaceship into space.
Yeah, they're trying
And
to give
so-
you the aesthetics.
Right. So in space, it is dark as hell. It is darker than any place on the planet because it is space. It is dark. There is no lights. That's why there's so many stars, but it still doesn't light up all of that dark space.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm just a different person. I enjoy that.
That's what they're going for. For me, I'm like, oh, this is too realistic in a scary way.
Not me. I'm like, bring it on. I love the darkness.
It's like the sounds, the screaming, the darkness, the sudden turns, the flashing lights. That's why this is one of the biggest Disney conspiracy theories ever out there.
So I've been on this ride a couple of times. I went on it a couple of times when I was younger. And the one time I went on the ride, one of the lights glitched.
No way.
And it turned on and I saw the track.
Oh, shit.
And we were going around a turn and we were so close to the wall, I thought we were going to whack our heads off the wall.
Oh my
And I
God.
believe that's probably why they keep it dark, because they do not want you to see how close you actually are to like some of these turns and you are to walls and stuff.
Oh my God.
And
yeah,
there
that
was
would
the
freak
other
me
track, the other part of the track was like right above our heads. So it's like everything is very close in there.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because people do believe that there are hidden tracks, abandoned sections, emergency tunnels, unused ride paths, and also secret maintenance corridors. You can't see it. So that's what makes people freak out.
Unless your light glitches.
Unless your light glitches like Landon did. Some employees have admitted that there are hidden maintenance areas and backstage sections guests never see. I mean, that's going to be true in every single ride anyway. There was one Disney fan that said that there were hidden sections inside of the mountain. Like, what are they hiding there?
I mean, they could be hiding more carts. They could be hiding parts for the ride itself. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they could be hiding dead bodies up there.
That was my next thing. They could be hiding dead bodies in there for all we know. We don't know because we're not allowed in there.
Yeah, because this ride is supposed to like intentionally create psychological fear responses. Because your brain cannot literally prepare for what is coming, which is why the ride feels so intense. Because your imagination becomes part of the experience.
Yeah, and then you get those. Your brain starts going into those fear responses.
Right. And although I think Space Mountain creates one of the strongest fight or flight responses in Disney, people are also claiming like that they saw shadows inside the mountains, heard strange sounds while stopping on the tracks, felt sudden freezing cold spots like the Haunted Mansion, or thought they saw figures standing near the mountain entrances, which is probably, the same vibe that I'm picking up on the dead body side of things.
I mean, the coldness, again, probably due to try to make you feel like you're really in space because it is freezing in space. That is why astronauts wear those thick suits, but they also are wearing this like thermal thing above that, like underneath their spacesuit to keep them warm because there is no warmth in space.
But then there's always the moments where glitches happen. Like you had a glitch, but it
Yes.
could have been much worse. For instance, there are many stories online of people who have temporarily had to stop inside of the ride because, it's malfunctioned, which means you're sitting in darkness, hearing machinery, metal sounds, screaming echoes through the building, people panicking. Like, I'm pretty sure it feels like a horror film at that point.
I definitely would just chill there.
Well,
I don't want to be getting off.
they might make you evacuate. Then that would be terrifying.
Maybe for you,
I mean, definitely for me.
I'd be having fun. I can see in the dark, so it doesn't bother me.
And then there's other people who obsess over the lights on version of Space Mountain. Apparently there's a lights on version.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok. I was going to mention that I saw a TikTok. This guy went through it with the lights on, and I was like, that just does not give you the same experience.
Okay. Well, apparently people just realize how insane the ride actually looks.
Yeah, it does. The tracks are everywhere. Like I said, they did not do the lights on version. This is something more recent. When I went years and years and years and years and years ago, no, there was no lights on version. You went through the ride the way it was, which was in the dark. When I saw this guy's TikTok and he went through the ride with it on, it just looks like you're on an indoor roller coaster.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, that's wild. But it is still something out there that people consider to be one of the scarier rides. And I don't disagree completely. But to be completely fair, I haven't been on that ride since I was a young child. So I wouldn't know. But I'm going to get back on there at some point and I'm going to give you an updated version.
Yeah, like, I mean, we went on the dinosaur ride the last time we were there, and I don't remember it being that bumpy and flying you all over the place where you break your back by the time you get out.
So, right. Unfortunately, I can't answer a lot of the conspiracy questions right now because I just don't know as of now. That is it for our rides today. I love this kind of stuff. I love talking about conspiracies on anything to do with Disney related things, good or bad. I love it all. We will be back for next episode. I'm not going to share what we're doing because I don't know yet. There are a few options. I just don't know what direction we're going to go in because there's also a case that I want to cover with Landon. I think it would just make him really mad. He doesn't know much about it, and I want to talk about it with him on here, but we'll see. But we do have a couple of awesome episodes coming, like Epstein. We got a Pop or Flop Inventions episode. I also want to do something connected to our UFOs that Landon and I more recently got in touch with, aka Bosco. So we have so much coming, but it is always
Us against everything.